What's an example, Lori, of a title defect or encumbrance?
Basically, when they do a survey, and they're looking for easements and covenants and restrictions or whatever, there's many of them, especially in Westchester. They could be utility ones, they could be this, they could be that. And that's why a survey and a new survey is very important.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of the times, let's say 8 out of 10 times, the survey shows maybe encumbrances or maybe encroachments, whatever, that are not in problem. That are not a problem.
Okay.
But the owner needs to know.
Yes.
Prior to that.
Yeah.
You know, because they are paying taxes.
Right.
Based on the survey lot.
Yes.
So this is something that they need to know.
Yeah. It's so important. You know, my own property, I ran into this when I was needing to repair a retaining wall that I have a corner lot. So there are 2 corners that are sidewalk facing. And it turned out that I have an encumbrance. I'm encroaching ever so slightly onto the town land. And so it became a whole, like we used to say in New England, a sticky wicket when I was going to repair this thing, because if I didn't repair it for exactly the like material, I was going to have to do this whole thing to pay it was a huge thing. But it was an encroachment that I honestly did not know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's always good to know. I mean, most of the times people have them they go unscathed and whatever, and they're not something that really come up. But you know, if you have a problem with your neighbor and it becomes an issue, it's always good to know.
Yes.
And it's always good to have a survey. So my rule of thumb is anything over 10 years, get a new survey.
Oh, good.
Listen, this is your one of your biggest purchases of your life.
Yes.
And you want to make sure that, you know, that it's done correctly.
Yeah.
And if you want to do any work based on the property after that, you know, basically your lines.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So if I were just to order a survey, how much something like that cost? How do they decide?
It depends on the square footage.
Okay.
But usually in between $850 and $1,200.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Now, Lori, when we're dealing with financing, what besides the bank requiring the title insurance and the owner's policy,
right,
for both, what else does the bank require the survey also, or not?
Not all the time.
Okay, tell me about that.
Well, it depends on your bank.
Okay.
It depends on your bank. If they want a new survey, they'll let your loan officer will let you know.
Okay.
Okay. Your purchaser's attorney may say, even if your loan officer says no, let's
do it. We do run into this a lot in Westchester. In fact, you and I worked on a deal a couple of weeks ago that went sideways, unfortunately, because of a shared driveway situation.
Exactly.
It was a perfect example of when this was going to need to be done.
No, definitely.
And ideally, as a listing agent, ahead of time, so that you can anticipate what the buyer may have run into before there's an accepted offer and inspection has been conducted. And yes.
Oh, definitely.
Yes. Definitely. Yeah. You have to slow down enough to do the steps. And it is difficult in this market because everyone has a sense of urgency. We want to move very quickly.
Exactly.
But that's also why getting people on your team who can move quickly, but also, dot the I's and cross the T's is so important.
Well, yeah. I mean, you want to make sure, listen, if there's something fishy that you need looked into, we can do that.
That's right.
I
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that all day long.